Hi, my name is Latoya Franklin. I've decided to do my presentation on the cultural divide, a period of 1821 to 1836. The Spanish arrived in the early 1500s to Mexican Texas. The first people on the land was the Native Americans. Anglo-Americans immigration began in Mexican Texas in 1821 to 1835. Three settlements in Texas were San Antonio de Bexar, La Baja del Espiritu Santo, and other small towns. There were three reasons why Spain started immigration. They had already made arrangements with Moore Austin to bring 300 Catholic families from the United States to Texas. The Mexican liberals had come to regard the missions as liabilities that added to the power of the church and encouraged intervention in government affairs. There also were security issues of not having enough power to enforce. Moses Austin was one of the ones granted the permission to lead 300 settlers in Texas, but he became ill and passed away before he could accomplish this mission. Stephen F. Austin is the son of Moses Austin. He was granted the permission to continue Moses Austin's plan by the governor of Mexican Texas to allow the 300 settlers to settle. There were three different reasons why Anglo-Americans decided to settle in Mexican Texas. The first reason was because the land was cheaper and most people could start a new life and start over. Mexico and the United States had no reciprocal agreements, enabling creditors to collect debts or return fugitives, because everyone was not legal that migrated to Texas. Most people thought that Texas was a part of the Louisiana Purchase. The results of the immigration in San Antonio de Bexar led to three different communities. There was the religious Indians of the 5 Franciscan missions, the military presidio of San Antonio, and the civil settlement of San Fernando de Bexar. San Antonio remained small in population because they had a lack of resources and financial support. The population was only about 1,634 people, and they were losing power and control over religious influence, and they had a lack of support from the national government. Anglo-Americans brought slavery to Texas when they began to migrate. The Mexicans did not agree with slavery. The state laws actually banned African slave, but they did see a need for slavery because of the production of cotton. The Anglo-Americans were allowed to bring their families and their slaves with them to Texas, and they were allowed to buy and trade their African slaves until the 1840s. This is a photo of the African slaves being brought to Texas during the immigration period. The law of April 6, 1830 was an attempt to stop slavery in Anglo-American immigration. The results of immigration in Mexican Texas was Anglo-Americans began to take over the Caracawas Indian land. They forced the Indians from their land, and they later became servants and labor workers. The Anglo-Americans brought slavery to Texas. The Mexican and Anglo-Americans did not get along because Anglo-Americans did not uphold to their promise to follow Mexican traditions. This is a photo of the native Indians They were living on the land before they were forced away by the Anglo-Americans.